Hello and welcome to the Local Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Johnson. The Local Leaders Podcast provides a platform for successful business owners to share their stories, their experiences, their advice, and their ideas in order to help our listeners achieve more success in their business and in their lives. Get ready, another great show is coming up. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Jeff Johnson, your host of the Local Leaders Podcast, and we welcome you back for another awesome episode. We have got Easy Pie on here today, and we're just excited to be able to introduce you to these guys, Spiros Stogiannis. I didn't get that right, did I, Spiros?
Yeah, you're not the first, and you won't be the last. It's Spiros Stogiannis.
Stogiannis. I got it now. Spiros Stogiannis. Well, Spiros, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you being on today.
Jeff, thank you for having me, man.
Hey, we're super excited about it. This Spiros owns Easy Pie, which started up in 2010, right now in Revere, Massachusetts. And Spiros, I just kind of want to hand it off to you today and let you, or this morning to start with, let you kind of tell us the story of Easy Pie and anything that you want to share about the business. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, of course. Like you stated, we started in 2010. It wasn't necessarily my dream to own a restaurant. It was just kind of an opportunity. At the time, I was managing restaurants, and I kind of thought that was going to be, my career path. Mm-hmm. And there were other side jobs that I was doing, and I knew someone that had a small pizza shop in the middle of nowhere, and it wasn't really doing what he expected. He was an absentee owner. And he was a buddy of mine. And he used to actually host a radio show, and I was on the radio show with him. And I remember after the show, he'd always complain about, he's like, I'm losing my shirt on this place. I'm like, well, you're never there. He's like, well, I'm an absentee owner, but it's tough. I wish I can unload it. And I'm like, listen, man, I got an idea. Why don't we sit down and talk? I'm looking to transition. Maybe I'll do something for myself. And, really, it was kind of like a trial thing for us, because in my head, I'm like, look, it's in the middle of nowhere, If I screw up, no one's going to know about it, and just, back to business. But I always liked the idea of being my own boss. I kind of work autonomously. Not that I can't take direction, but even in my regular career, I was always kind of, the alpha or the leader in what I was doing. And, sometimes I felt held back by other people. So I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. And, when I went into the shop, it really wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. It wasn't Easy Pie. And I went in for a few months, and I kind of got the lay of the land. I wasn't a cook. I was a front of the house manager. So, I was more like an operator. I wasn't a back of the house. I wasn't a chef, anything like that. And it took me about 2 or 3 months in the kitchen, or the laboratory, as I would call it. And I'd go back and I'd mess around with the ingredients. And, the beginning, they're like, oh, you can't do it like that. That's not how that's not how it's done. And I'm like, well, there's no rules. Are you the pizza police? You know what I mean? So it was a pizza shop. So I figured, I'll keep the core. I'll do pizza. I added some burgers and some other things, and the menu kind of evolved. But it took me about 3 months to kind of learn the basics. And then I started building a menu little by little. You know what I mean? And, kind of our claim to fame is the Mac Daddy pizza, which is a Big Mac pizza. And everybody's like, who's going to eat this? How are you going to make this? And I made it. And, there are people in the restaurant were like, it's cool, but no one's going to order this stuff. So, but my mindset was like on a different plane. You know what I mean? So I'm like, listen, what I'm going to do is, there's no way I'm going to be able to compete with people that have time on their side. In Boston, I'm Boston born. You know what I mean? So I'm a Boston boy. Pizza's a big deal out here. And we have some staple pizza shops in the area. And they got time on their side. You know what I mean? They got that following. I'm not going to try to do what they're doing. And there are other, there's a ton of Greek guys like me that own pizza shops. They're like the run-of-the-mill pizza shops, and they're good. But what's the point of difference? Why would someone come and visit me? Because I'm new. They have they're loyal to their local restaurant or their local pizza shop. So my mindset from the onset was like, listen, I got to carve my own lane. I got to take something that's being done, and I have to do something. I have to basically not reinvent the wheel, but refine the wheel and do something different. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at, the demographics and how things are changing, and people are eating healthier, and people are more creative, and, people are foodies now. They're taking pictures of food. So what am I going to do that's going to entice this modern food culture to come to me as opposed to, these big box brands or whatever. And I started handcrafting a menu, and a lot of trial and error. And for everything that I made that was good, I made some really crappy stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of trial and error. On the other side of the coin, I looked at the entire endeavor as a blank canvas. So, my technical background. So I have a degree in visual communications, graphic design, web design, and marketing. So that was kind of my thing. I've always been a creative. So every single element of the business, from the design of the actual dining room to our boxes, to our decor, to our uniforms, to developing what the menu looks like, that all for me was the exciting part, because I got to jump into it and design and develop everything. It wasn't that I didn't want to work with other people. I just had this vision in my head. And I'm like, you know what? I'm capable of doing it. Let me do it. It took some time, you know what I mean? And it's evolved over time. But what's come out of it is something really special. And there's really nothing like us. And I'm not saying it because it's mine, but people come in here and they're kind of mind boggled. They're like, I thought this was like a regular pizza shop. This is wild. I'm like, we're not a pizza shop. We're a restaurant. We happen to make great pizza. We're like the pizza joint, the burger joint. We do salads. I mean, we do a lot of creative things, and nothing is off limits. And I think that people love that part of Easy Pie. Fast forward 7 years, and I had an opportunity to grab another location, and this one was more like, now I'm solidified. I got some clout from some local food shows. They put us on some magazines, some entrepreneurial magazines. Mm-hmm. And we got a great following, and people were excited for this new location. Well, this new location was a lot larger of a project than I imagined. I thought I was going to be, I was going to do the same thing. But when I walked in here, I said, you know what? I'm going to take it to the next level. This is the evolution of Easy Pie. And, I have a full bar. I have a patio with a bar outside, full serve restaurant now. You know what I'm saying? We do the takeout stuff, but we're a full serve restaurant. And it's evolving, because I don't come from money. My family of immigrants, they came from Greece over 50 years ago with nothing. American dream. You know what I mean? That's all they had, was the American dream. They spoke a few words of English, you know what I mean? And, they put their heads down and they worked. They educated me. They did everything they could. And they put me in this position. So now I'm doing the same thing. They put me in pole position. I'm at the front of the line, kind of, sort of, compared to where they started. And, I put my head down. I'm doing the same thing. That's all I know. I watched my mom and my dad break their backs for years. You know what I mean? And to me, hard work, that was just what it is. You know what I mean? I grew up watching that and understanding that if you want to get ahead and you want to make it, there are going to be a lot of obstacles. There are going to be a lot of things that you don't like that are going to happen. I mean, you can sit in the corner and sulk and complain about them, or you put your head down and you barrel through them. I could be that trickle of water that tries to find the path of least resistance, or I can be the water behind a dam that's ready to break that thing down and just maul everything in front of me. And that's always been my mindset. There's no obstacle that, you remove emotion, you use your intelligence and you figure out a way to get through it. You know what I mean? And this industry is jam packed with obstacles. So, we fast forward, we come to Easy Pie. I'm in Revere, Mass. I'm about 15 minutes out of the city. Like you could see the city of Boston from outside. I mean, I'm really, really close. And it's awesome. We're in the same parking lot as Boston Harley Davidson. So we have this amazing dealership next to us. And they do these tremendous events. They do these events for like veterans and all this other stuff. So we have a huge support from the local area, and we're in a cool spot, and we're growing, and we're constantly growing. And the mindset is to keep moving and, do another one, a bigger one, or maybe, a variant of Easy Pie. But, it's really the American dream. You know what I mean? When people they ask me about what Easy Pie, what it's about. I mean, I always started off with, it's the American dream, because anything is possible in this country. You know what I mean? I'm proud that my parents came here and they worked so hard, and we're living proof that if with a lot of hard work and elbow grease, man, I mean, you can become successful. And Easy Pie is the definition of that.
Well, it's a beautiful location. You can see it here in our background, and the cool thing you were telling me earlier was that it's all you, man. You built the thing. You did the construction. You did the websites. You did the marketing.
Everything.
You do it all.
Everything. And I mean, sometimes, in my mind, I think that's the best thing possible. I think it ended up being that way a lot because, like I told you, people didn't really see the vision. And on the other side of the coin, a lot of things cost a ton of money. You know what I mean? And I didn't have that. So, like I said, it was bootstrapping it. And, it's like, if I pay someone $5,000 to do a website, I mean, I'll just take the time and I'll do it, and it'll evolve as well. And as far as building it, and my father was a carpenter and he helped me renovate the first one. I mean, I could do some minor things, maybe I inherited his skill set. I don't know, but he would come here. When I was building this place in 2015, it took me 2 years to hand build this place. It wasn't like, I came in and in 6 months we were up and running. People were like, what the hell is going on in here? People would stop by and talk to me. And they're like, where is everyone? My dad would come by and say, son, you're doing this by yourself at 80 years old, 79 years old. Let me help you. And I'm like, I'm good, Dad. You worked your whole life. You know what I mean? Just if I need anything, just be there. Be my Google. My dad was Google and YouTube for most of the time. I would call him. Hey, Pops, how do I do this? Hey, I can't get this straight. Hey, I screwed this up. What's going on? And he was my Encyclopedia Britannica. If anyone remembers that, you know what I mean? He was like the wealth of knowledge that guided me, like the guiding light to help me kind of, guide my hands to build this restaurant. And it is a cool space, man. It's a really cool space, and we get compliments from people that come in here that do design work. And they're like, hey, like what company did you call to design the place? And I'm like, you're looking at it, man. So it was wild because I was cooking in my first location Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, talking about 15-hour days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm there for at least 15 hours. And then Monday through Thursday, I was at the other location building the place. So it was a long journey, a long, tough journey. But, the end result is something special for me. I mean, I really love the place. And what I love more is that our guests really love the place and they enjoy the place. I mean, for me, that's the ultimate satisfaction. When people really appreciate everything in here, either the food or the decor, or they compliment or they like it, it's like just adding fuel to the tank for me to keep moving. That's the motivator for me.
Yeah, well, and keep moving and grooving, and it's great to see that. And for those of you who missed the website, we put it up at the beginning of the show, but it's easypie.com. Go check it out because you can order online. You can private events I see up here are an option. So yeah, check them out. They've got an awesome site, lots of great information, and even got a really cool merchant shop in there as well. It's got a lot of merch. I encourage you, go in there and get you some. In fact, I'm gonna have to pop over there now and see what I need. Oh yeah, hats and all kinds of stuff popping up.
There's some stuff that's missing off there, but we do sweatshirts, hoodies, tank tops, stickers. I mean, glassware, bottle openers, anything you can imagine, jackets,
you got
snow hats, pop sockets for your phone. I mean, ridiculous amount of stuff. You know what I mean? But for me, it's wild because, people want to support the business, especially when COVID hit. People would come in. We were allowed to only do takeout, and people would come in and they say, you know what? We were allowed to do cocktails and beers to go. We have our own beers. We do our own cocktails to go, which is great. And, people would come in and support and say, you know what? We could do the Uber Eats, we could do the Grubhubs and the DoorDashes and all that other stuff, but we know that they take a percentage from you. We want you to stay here. We want you to be here for the long term. They come in, they would do pickup, and they would leave with a couple hoodies, a couple hats, a couple like a 6-pack of our beer, because the people really wanted us to be here. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of businesses around me closed down. Go to the local mall. It's like a ghost town inside the mall. It's very scary, and I'm sad for what happened to some small business owners. You know what I mean? It was a very, very difficult time, and we're not in the clear yet because we don't even know what's going to happen this winter. They might shut everything down again.
Yeah.
But it was very, very difficult going from a full service restaurant to, takeout only.
Yeah.
I mean, a very difficult time.
Yeah.
Huge obstacle.
I am sure that was a major challenge for you. So how did you pull it off?
Well, I mean, the reality is that we do, at our core, we do pizza, we do burgers and stuff like that. That stuff always, my first location was primarily takeout. So it wasn't like I had to reinvent what we were doing. It's just we're putting them in our boxes and we're taking them to go. It's pizza, it's burgers, it is to go food as well. The people I think that suffered a lot were the people that, like we have our Little Italy, the North End in Boston. And, you go down there for the experience, you go down there, you experience the environment. You're getting, some really great plated foods. That stuff didn't travel well. It doesn't travel well. You're not going down there and getting like lasagna or steamed mussels or whatever to go. It's people were still doing it to support them. Don't get me wrong. The food still tastes good. But I mean, you're going down there for the experience. I mean, and I was nervous for us as well, because I'm like, man, we've become an experience place. People come here and there's so many things to take in this place. But again, ultimately, our food, if we have to, we could just do all to go. So, we took a huge nosedive at the beginning because, there was no guidance. People didn't know what to do. We didn't know where we were headed, kind of like, unknown territory at the time. And, as people got more comfortable and as more people kind of understood how they could be vigilant in protecting themselves and whatever, people have to eat, right? People have to eat. So, we buckled down. My front of the house staff kind of lost all of them. You know what I mean? I said, you guys are going to have to collect unemployment like everyone else. When we can open, I'll bring you back in. If you guys want to jump into the kitchen, let's do it. And eventually we just started popping. Like, it got really busy again. And to the point where, like, I was running the cashier on a Monday and cooking. I had no cooks. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm answering the phones. I'm running in the back. I'm on the grill. I'm making pizzas. I'm chopping salads. I'm doing all this stuff. Within 4 weeks, I was getting my teeth kicked in. In comes, all the staff again for the kitchen, and then bringing some front of the house staff in to help, cashier and do all that other stuff. So we adjusted accordingly as the environment and as the climate changed and more guidance came out and we were given some freedoms back. You know what I mean? We made the adjustments and we went from there. I never cowered and said, what am I going to do? Let me shut down. Let me just collect. That was never in my mind. My mind was like, whatever I'm allowed to do. Like, if I have to sell pizzas outside in the parking lot, I'll pull the oven outside in the parking lot and I'll make pizzas outside. I don't care if it's snowing out, whatever. I'm not going to let my dream go to shit, basically, because, we don't know what to do. I just never gave up on it. And, I have friends that own restaurants. They're like, well, I got to close. I don't have a dishwasher. Brother, put an apron on and wash some damn dishes. You know what I'm saying? like it's either that or it's over. You know what I mean? So, there are, the people that are, there's a lot of guys like me, you know what I mean? You just kind of, you put everything into it and it's like, dude, I'm not letting this is not going to take me out. You know what I mean? I'm going to go until I can't anymore. And luckily, we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And then, people were dying to come out at one point, they just wanted to be out, you know what I mean? And then boom, out of nowhere. But then again, it's changed the way stuff goes down now. So it's like, where like a Tuesday was slow, we'll have a really busy Tuesday. And then we'll have a weird Saturday. You know what I mean? Because Easy Pie was open throughout the whole pandemic. That Italian joint down in Boston wasn't. So now those people are going down and experiencing that again. You know what I mean? And I think at some point we'll level off. It's like this now. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting theirs now. And it's great. I'm so happy for the people that survived. You know what I mean? Eventually it'll level off. And I think it'll be back to normal at some point. You know what I mean? Who expected, a pandemic to flip everything upside down? I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, So
nobody ever even contemplated it. At least I didn't. I never imagined. And it's like going on 2 years.
Right.
So I hope this,
3 weeks going on 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that I hope and pray that we don't have another problem this winter, and the shots and all the other things that have been going on will help us all kind of get back to some level of normalcy. But you're right, it's a different industry. It's a lot of changes have taken place, and some of the challenges that most restaurants are facing. I'm sure you guys are as well. But the big three: staffing, food shortages, food costs. Have kind of been a big topic of conversation. How's that impacted you guys so far?
I mean, staffing is a joke right now. I mean, it's hard. Like, we've gotten to the point where, like, I'm paying companies to help staff and people don't even come in. They'll set up, they'll correspond, and then you'll come here like a bone. I sit here like a bonehead, wait for interviews to come in, and I have to call them. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I just apply so I can collect unemployment. So the thing is, you got to just keep going and you'll get the good ones. They come. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel as though, although the stimulus stuff was necessary for people that were really clipped and they couldn't work, like you can't come to work. Right. A lot of people took advantage of the system, and it created kind of like a vacuum. It pulled people out, that they say, you know what, if I could sit on the couch and collect $600 a week, why am I going to go in a hot kitchen, or I'll ride it out. And that was the challenge. You know what I mean? So, we buckled down, and it was a big challenge. But I guess, ultimately some things came out of it. I mean, it forced, like up here, people are fighting for higher minimum wages or whatever. And the dollar amount that they were fighting for, we've way surpassed that just to entice people to come and work.
Yeah.
You talked to me 2 years ago and everybody's trying to get $15 minimum wage out here. And we're like, oh, $15. Like, I'm going to get a 17-year-old with no experience, throw him behind a cashier and give him $15 an hour. These entry-level positions weren't made for people to pay their mortgages and pay college. It's our entry-level positions for people that are just starting in the labor force. I don't pay no one $15 an hour. Everybody's getting way above that. Because you have to entice them to, $15 an hour. I'll sit on my couch and collect $600 a week. So, it's changed the landscape. Entry-level positions here, we're giving $16, $17. You know what I mean? It's just to get people to come in. You have to do it, or then you do close. You know what I mean? So you got to do it. As far as the cost of goods right now, I mean, at the beginning, things were okay, right? Now we're seeing things where, people are losing their jobs. Some people don't want to get vaccinated. Some people do, whatever. It's more power to whatever you want to do, but a lot of people are losing their jobs over because they're working in companies that, 100 or more, you either get it or you don't. So now all of a sudden shelves are empty. I think there's a shortage of drivers to bring the stuff. There's a shortage of employees to produce the stuff, and it's driving costs way up. Things that costed me like $60, $70 now cost me $150, Throughout the whole pandemic, a case of gloves that was $22 was $130 a case. And I'm going through 5 cases a week. So figure that out. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of maneuver. The last thing I wanted to do, though, was push that onto my guest base. We serve a premium product, and I charge a premium for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't nickel and dime. I don't put things on sale. Like, we sell a premium product and I back up our product. If you find something better or you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem doing that. But for the most part, people understand what they're getting. They're getting quantity, they're getting quality, and they're in a premium environment. And people don't mind spending their money on premium. But the thing is, how much higher can I go? How much more can I sell a pizza for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have pizzas, like, some people come in here and they go, man, I never thought I'd pay $25 for a pizza. And I don't know if that sounds right. It's not a cheese pizza. Cheese pizza is $12, $13 here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like our specialty pizzas, if like you and I and 4 other guys would be able to eat one of our specialty pizzas. I mean, it's like a slice and you're done on some of the stuff that we serve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, from a price point perspective, if you came in and you spent $30 for a pizza, and there's 5 of us, that's $6 a piece for dinner.
Yep. Can't beat that.
You know what I mean? No, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? But it's a double-edged sword. It's great for the customer, but for the business, it's like sometimes people come in and just get one pizza. So It's hard. But, that is an obstacle. I mean, I'm trying to hold off as much as possible with raising prices. But eventually, if push comes to shove, I'm going to have to, or we shut down. You know what I mean? It's just, it's simple math at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I can't lose money on product. And that's what's happening with everyone. So staffing is tough. The cost of goods coming in, I mean, that's tough. We find ways around it. You know what I mean? And people are gonna, you can't have things, one way, and then, if you take from somewhere, if you give from somewhere, you got to take from somewhere else. That's just the natural way things work. You know what I mean? Because the margins aren't going like this. I remember in the 80s, people were making 25%. You're lucky if you pull 10% now. Lucky, and this is your life. So it's like every day in and out, you're working, and it doesn't go away when you go home. Owning a business like this doesn't go away. You know what I mean? You're always doing something. You know what I mean? So like my day off, like we don't open Mondays anymore. It's totally chopped our hours. We went from closing at 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, closing at 10 o'clock. Sundays we close at 8. We used to close at 11. Yeah. I used to be open Mondays. I used to do lunch Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't. So what's happened is, though, people have, like, if I had cut my hours like that before the pandemic, forget about it. It would have been lights out for Easy Pie. But the pandemic allowed us to become more creative with how we operate, and people had to accept it. So, in the hours that we're open, people now know these are the hours they're open. If I want that Easy Pie, I got to get there in between these times, and it's working. You know what I mean? So everyone's adjusted. It's just tough because, I mean, if I got to sell a cheese pizza for $20, that would really suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it really, it's sucks for everybody. And it's just a big old catch-22 because it's like, if you're pulling a 10% net margin, at the end of the day, then the only thing you can do is try to grow. You got to get more volume. Well, you can't get more volume because you don't have anybody to work.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's
Or
a
you don't have product, or you don't
yeah,
have
or you
product.
don't have
I
the
mean,
product. That's right. That's right.
we run out of stuff and people get mad. Like I ran out of some stuff this weekend. They're like, what do you mean you don't have that? I mean,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
just
it's
don't
like,
have it. The
hey,
distributor.
the truck didn't show up, you know?
And let me tell you, if the truck actually does show up, half the stuff on the truck's not mine. Sometimes they'll label things wrong. And then when you call and you say, hey, what's going on, man? Like, this is really going to hinder my business. They go, listen, we have a shortage of employees. We're bringing temporary people in. Half the people don't care. You know what I mean? So it's affecting us in so many different areas. It's like a huge domino effect. You know what I mean? And I think the general public, the vast majority of them, they don't understand the inner workings of certain things. You don't expect them to. You know what I mean? They don't own most people don't own a business, so they don't understand what's going on. You just gotta explain and you keep moving. But we have such a huge menu. I could always recommend something else, but there's a lot of things that are just missing. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you do? The Big Mac pizza has lettuce on it when it comes out. Case of lettuce went from $27 to $90. What do? Raise the price of that pizza by $10? You know what I mean?
Crazy.
How do you do it? It is crazy. But I mean, we could put our heads down and complain about it and say, oh, woe is me, I'm not going to open. Or you know what? You take the punches, you get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off, and you keep fighting. Yep. I mean, that's really all you can do, if you want to be successful.
Yeah. And we, you're exactly right. And if you look back at the Depression and back in when the housing market crashed in 2008 to, during that period, there's always been challenges in business, right, and things that are going on that you can't control. And you just have to, like you said, buckle down and accept it and move on.
Right. Those things aren't going to go away. You know what I mean? And if A, B, and C go away, 1, 2, 3 are coming back at you. So there's always something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not nothing's ever going to be perfect. That's like me coming in here and saying everyone that leaves Easy Pie is going to be 100% satisfied. If I try to please 100% of the people, that's my mindset, I've already failed, because you can't, nothing's ever perfect. You know what I mean? So again, you got to assess the situation. You gotta make real-time decisions, right? Make those decisions. There's going to be some bumps and bruises, but you'll find your way as long as you just stay true to what you're doing. I always think that you'll find your way. You just got to stay true to what the original core idea was and what you were trying to do, and you find your way.
And I think that's probably a great piece of advice. Usually I wrap up the show and talk about advice, but you've already given plenty of that in terms of, of things that you've shared and saying things like that you just got to find your way and it'll come. You just got to keep working, keep digging, keep trucking, and success will eventually find you, even if you don't know what you're doing sometimes, right?
Right. Hey, bro, most people, we don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? In hindsight, I look at all the mistakes, but the reality is that if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah, that's right. That is very much true. And hey, how many people does it take to run the business right now, or how many would you like to have? I guess is a better question.
So when I had both my restaurants, I had about 85 people working between both locations. Mm-hmm. I'm down to now. So I sold the first location. That was my stepping stone to get to Revere. You know what I mean? That wasn't the dream. That wasn't the vision. I sold it literally months before the pandemic actually hit. We didn't know that anything was happening. But I'll tell you right now, I got 13 people. If I really wanted to go back, full speed ahead, I'd probably need another 20 people in here, and a manager. Because I can't be here 24/7. You know what I mean? Right. So the Monday that we're off, it's like I could open up back Mondays, but then it's like I'm here in full capacity again. So this kind of gives me that break where I can do other things. I have a personal life, right? I have a wife. I have a 5-year-old at home. You know what I mean? So, it's good to have a personal life too. You'll go absolutely berserk. But yeah, if I can even double my staff, I think we'd be in even better shape. It would allow us to get kind of back to where we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you're right. It's.
But I am grateful. I am grateful for where we are. And honestly, I look at Easy Pie, and building Easy Pie was me, right? Maintaining Easy Pie and driving the ship, though, that's a team effort. So I'm extremely grateful for everybody that comes here on a daily basis, even when it's tough to get here. You know what I mean? And they literally, they believe in the dream, they break their backs, and they're helping push this thing forward. It's not just me. You know what I mean? If everybody left, it's going to be a nice looking restaurant and just me sitting here, and that won't last. So at the end of the day, yeah, I am the leader here. But like I said, like when you asked me about the jersey in the morning, right? This is a team effort, right? And I just so happen to play for the team that I own. You know what I'm saying? I'm a player on the team too. And, this place wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for some of the really amazing people that I have working here. Like you know what I mean? They believe in the dream, and it's like a family vibe in here. I'll go to the ends of the earth for these people because they've buckled down and they've fought the battle with me. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
sir.
it is a team effort. It always is. It always is.
And actually, Spiros, it takes a great leader to get people to follow like that and to buy into the dream. So congratulations on being able to pull that off. And that's a testament to your 10, 11 years in business already. So you've done a lot of things right, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey,
I really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Hey, what do you think, once we level this thing out and, have you got any thoughts of expanding or adding a second location again, and I know now, with the times the way they are, I know it's really difficult to say, but just curious, what's in your brain?
So throughout the pandemic, I actually looked at properties and people thought I was crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is an opportune time because, in the wake of, the unfortunate of some businesses closing, there's opportunity. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of locations and spaces open. There are landlords that are looking for people. The goal for Easy Pie, this might stay the flagship unit. This might also be sacrificed as a part of, moving forward. I am in the works right now. I'm working with a company that is extremely interested in putting us in about 12 universities or colleges in the East Coast. So we're actively, signing a deal doing that, which would put just the pizza element into some universities and colleges around the area, which is really exciting for me. But I am also looking for other locations, even in other states. If I could find somebody that is interested in what we do and they want to follow this dream, man, I'm down to have somebody in New York or Chicago or Miami. Anybody who wants, you know what I mean? I'm ready to bring some people on board and help push this dream forward, because I definitely believe that we're limiting how amazing this place is by just having one location. And again, I say this to everybody about what I want to do with Easy Pie. I never want to be McDonald's. I don't want to be on every corner. You know what I'm saying? Because you lose how special it is. But I do want to be McDonald's, as in I want to be as consistent as they are, because at every location, everything is exactly the same. But the dream would definitely be to have an Easy Pie, not on every corner, but maybe in every major city, so people can actually understand what we're doing and appreciate it. Because I definitely think that this concept is something different. And again, not because it's mine. It's the vibe I get from customers that come in here. The Logan Airport is right next to us. People travel by here. Oh man, if we had one of these down in Dallas, this would be amazing. I'm like, hey brother, cut the check. Let's do it. I'll take a flight out. Let's bang it out. Let's open an Easy Pie in Dallas. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the mindset is growth. It energizes me as I get older. I'm going to be 45 in a few months. But every day is day one for me. I have the energy like it's day one. Knock on wood. As long as I'm healthy and these hands work, I'm going to keep moving it forward. And if somebody wants to help me open one, awesome. If I find someone has a location or a property and they want to give me the opportunity, if it makes sense, I'll do it. Literally after this, I have a phone call with someone for another concept. So my mind's always working. You know what I mean? I'm dabbling with some of these ghost kitchen concepts. So I'm going to be launching another concept out of my kitchen on the hours that we're not open. And it's going to take me to do it. I'm going to be the only one doing it. See if it flies. If it works, we find a brick and mortar and we do it. You know what I mean? But I'm always ready and I'm always chasing opportunity. Opportunities are blessings, man. You know what I mean? They don't come all the time. And if it comes my way, I think it would be a sin not to entertain it or at least look into it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like I'm glad I asked that question, because, I've gotten a little hesitant about doing so during the pandemic, because everything's so strange and weird that it's kind of hard to start thinking about growth. But you're thinking outside the box. You're thinking,
I'm crazy, man. I don't stop. I'm crazy. A lot of people are like, dude, you are nuts. Like, settle down, be satisfied with what you have. And I said, listen, that's just not how my mind works. Like we said, you have 20 things on your plate and you got to focus on that one thing. And, sometimes we're told that that's a bad thing, but, perspective is everything. And sometimes you look at it and you go, no, man, you're just aggressive and you want to achieve so many different things. So, why not? put 2 more things on your plate. You know what I mean? As long as you're healthy and you can do it, let's do it. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. And we chip away and we chip away and we chip away. That's one thing that I think people might admire, but the people that work with me hate, is that I'm never satisfied with things. I'm just like, you know what? We could always do better. We could always do more. I think that once you say to yourself, I did it, I'm satisfied, and the complacency sets in, that's the day you start to die and you start to fail. You know what I mean? We got to treat it like it's day one all the time, and that failure is right around the corner. So, I'm always ready. So I'm happy you asked that question. I'm always ready to do something. Money permitting too. That's the other thing. I don't got tons of money, so
yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part of being a big dreamer. Like yourself with great big visions. It's hard to sometimes capitalize, all the dreams that we have, and you have to hold back sometimes because of that. But I'm hopeful that maybe we'll help you reach somebody that's excited.
That'd be amazing.
Equally ready to rock and roll and do something that's cool. You got an awesome menu, man. I keep falling back to it. And just for those who haven't been there, hand stretched artesian pies, colossal. Hand-packed burgers, half a pound.
More than half. They're actually 11 ounces. They're bigger than your head. They're huge. We make them fresh. Our pizzas are pretty crazy. We do the traditional stuff, and we do it really, really well. But we have a Big Mac pizza, a poo-poo platter pizza. We have pizzas with mashed potatoes. Our point of difference is that our specialty, our signature pies, they don't have a red sauce. So you go to a lot of places and they do a tremendous job doing specialty stuff, but it's all red sauce, and they put all these amazing toppings on it. Every single one of our specialty pizzas have their own individual sauce on it. You know what I mean? So like our Big Mac pizza literally tastes like a Big Mac, but it ain't made with kangaroo meat and processed stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're using all fresh. We get deliveries on a daily basis. I got the Easy Pie Army in the back prepping right now. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of work that goes into providing a handcrafted fresh product. You know what I mean? And that's why, I tell you, we sell a premium product. It's like when you go to Starbucks, 9 people make your coffee before you take that first sip. I mean, our French fries, it takes 48 hours before a French fry goes into your mouth. You know what I mean? We're cutting fresh potatoes. We do these tater tots that are the size of a beer can. It's one tater tot. It's called a monster tot. You know what I mean? So, we do things that are off the wall and crazy that you've never seen before. We've carved our own niche. And I've said it before, we've painstakingly paved our own road. And I said it on this other show I was on. We're going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we're not stopping for anybody. Like, that's what we do. And, I'm excited for people to come and try this place out. I'm so excited when new people come in here. It's like amazing to me. I love it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like exposing what we do and what I've created to new people and seeing them get excited about it. Like I said, it just puts fuel in the tank, and it makes me want to open those other locations. Yeah. Makes me want to wash dishes and plunge toilets. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's part of the job some days.
Yes, it's part of the job, brother. It's part of the job,
Man, Easy Pie sounds amazing. It's an awesome concept.
Thank you.
It's almost lunchtime here. Here where you're on the East Coast too, so Eastern Daylight. So you done got me hungry. Right. I don't have an Easy Pie in North Carolina to go to. So
I was thinking of, we were actually thinking of moving to North Carolina.
Man,
there might be an Easy Pie in North Carolina coming soon. Who knows?
Nice. That would be.
I hear it's amazing down there. So I think, and we have some family that lives down there. You know what I mean? And when my wife goes down and visits, they basically say, "Oh my God, man, if you open an Easy Pie down here, you'd crush it."
Yeah, I can think of a number of places. So here in North Carolina, that would that concept would fit in beautifully. And North Carolina is a growing place, great place to live. Yeah. Not quite as cold as Massachusetts in the winter. We get more ice and we get snow, but
I'm done with the winters, man. I'm done with the winters.
It's brutal up there.
Oh yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast today and sharing all that you have, all the energy and the passion.
Thank you, brother.
You've got for the business is amazing. And, for all of those who are listening, please support our theeasypie.com. Check them out, see what they're doing. If you've got an interest in being in a restaurant space and looking for a concept, bam, we just gave it to you.
I'll travel.
Yeah, hit us up. We'll hit me up. I'll hook you up with with the Easy Pie crew of one.
I'm on right.
Yeah, the Easy Pie crew of one, building, marketing, he can do it all. But I'm so glad to have had you on the show, and I appreciate you being here, my friend.
I appreciate what you do, brother. I mean, it's amazing. This show helps expose, small business owners like myself. And, it's just a good thing, and it's awesome to find individuals like yourself that help build this content and put it out there for people to see what we're doing. So thank you as well.
You are very welcome. And thank you again for your time. And thank you to our listeners for jumping on and listening to another of our episodes of the Local Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Johnson, and we're going to catch you on the next one. Take care.